next one we'll talk about, it says use a longer lens. Utilize longer focal length lenses for beauty headshots. I absolutely love using the Nikkor 200 millimeter f2 or 300 millimeter f4 lenses. And the reason is that it has a stunning compression effect on faces and blurs the background. This is how I create all of my iconic beauty images. Never use wide angle lenses for headshots because it will make their nose and forehead look much larger than it is. So if you have a Nikkor 70 to 200 milliliter, Nikkor, sorry, 70 to 200 millimeter lens, try backing up and zooming in to the 200 millimeter and then taking your headshot. You'll be amazed by the results. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of goes back to what I was talking about in I think it was one of the last videos where we are talking about shallow depth of field and aperture, things like that. And that's one of the main reasons why those lenses are so popular with portrait photographers, namely that 200 f2 that they were talking about there in the magazine. The 200 f2 it was a staple for portrait photographers in the Nikon world for many, many years, because at 200 millimeters, you have a lot of compression. And then at f2, you already have a very shallow depth of field. So when you combine both of those together, it would give tremendous results for portraits. And so what is compression? Compression is the tunnel vision, so to speak, that's created with a longer focal length lens. Your subjects appear to be more compressed onto their background because of the narrower field of view, right? Whereas if you were to take the picture at 50 millimeters, which most ophthalmologists say that our field of view as a human, our focal length is most closely to a 50 millimeter lens on a full frame camera. So anytime you start going above that, you start pushing up towards 70, 100, 150, 200 millimeters, you start narrowing that down to a smaller cone field of view. And that is what creates the compression to where your subject can look like they're closer to their background than they actually are. A lot of landscape photographers use this to their benefit, namely when taking pictures of the moon with a foreground element. I'm sure everybody's seen that picture of the statue of Jesus where he has his arms out and the moon is directly behind him, and it looks like he's holding the moon. The moon is massive. Well, we all know that the moon isn't really that big when you look at it, with the naked eye. But when shot with a telephoto lens, it appears to be closer than it actually is. So that's why it's a very commonly used theme in portrait photography.